Joe Rogan went on a podcast and he talked a little bit about why he supported Donald Trump. Because remember, Joe Rogan, apparently he was a Bernie guy. Okay. I mean, I've never been into Joe Rogan. I've never really listened to his shit. I've never really liked the guy, mostly because he would always have people on with no pushback, no, right? He would just give people an open platform to say things without, you know, his curiosity was like in hearing information that would titillate or activate his audience, but he never felt the responsibility to verify or require some sense of honesty in the information he was using to activate his audience. And I have a real problem with that, okay? Because the reality is like, I am fine with getting an audience activated. I am fine with activating people, okay? I have no problem with tapping into people's emotional triggers and getting them activated. But I do have a problem when you do that with lies or with things that are not true simply to try and extract money out of them or allegiance out of them or to create some type of chaos, okay? And I believe that there is a lot of, you know, a lot of these people, when they start getting really big audiences and they start getting a lot of money, they start enjoying their ability to create chaos, right? To stir chaos. They can just sort of like throw some chum in the water and watch everybody fucking bubble up like piranha. And I don't like that type of thing. And yeah, when he does push back, sometimes he doesn't even push back accurately. He reminds me of Elon Musk, guys, where he likes to sow chaos. I think sometimes people like that. They like to sow chaos. And so that, I think, is important to notice. But anyway, here he's having a moment where he's going to talk about why he supported Trump.
There was a bunch of things that happened. First of all, there was the Lawfare. There was these lawsuits that they were trying to pin on him. They were trying to convict him and turn him into a felon, and they were doing it so blatantly and obviously. The case with the bookkeeping error or the bookkeeping, whatever it was, the misdemeanor that they had charged him with 34 felonies for, which isn't even a felony. It's a misdemeanor.
Did you see though what he said there? Did you see what he said there? The bookkeeping error. Did you see the way Rogan framed that? The bookkeeping error. But let's look at this, okay? Making a mistake in your bookkeeping, okay? If there is a bookkeeping error, that probably is a misdemeanor. But what was Donald Trump's bookkeeping error? The Access Hollywood tape had come out. He was getting nailed to the wall for his, you know, consentless approach toward women, his misogyny, his nastiness. He was getting hammered. And right during that same time, he made a bookkeeping error to silence a woman that he had a degenerate, like, carrot dangling sexual relationship with while his wife was pregnant with his kid, no less. And he did that. He covered it all up. Why? Because he was trying to become president. So now we're in the neighborhood of like election fraud, paying off a woman to keep her quiet after you're already on the skids to cover up a bunch of shit in order to win an election, okay, which is trying to manipulate the election result. And you're doing all that while knowingly lying on your fucking ledger. And then that's not a bookkeeping error, Joe Rogan. Okay, that's definitely a fucking felony. Okay, the stakes of like winning an election, the stakes of silencing a human being to win an election, the stakes of then lying on your financial papers in order to accomplish that. Like, bro, that is felonious. Like, come on, man. If that's not a felony to commit that type of forgery and bullshit in order to win an election, if that's not a felony, what is? But he called it a bookkeeping error. And he said lawfare, okay? Like lawfare, what's lawfare? Because a president was charged with that type of shit? That, like, you know what I mean? That other people do bookkeeping errors and they get audited in their shit, or they get fired from their jobs, or they get sued by people. They go to jail for those types of bookkeeping cover-up errors, right? But it was lawfare because it was Trump. Was it lawfare to charge him for sending fake electors and trying to overturn the election? Was it lawfare when he hid the classified documents after the FBI requested he bring them back or turn them over and he didn't? I mean, you know, was it lawfare to call up Georgia and say, man, we just need 15,000 votes? What can we do here? Was that lawfare? Like, I don't know, man. To me, that doesn't seem like lawfare. Okay, lawfare feels like, you know, Representative McIver in New Jersey, who was pushed in that scrum of people outside the detention center in New Jersey, and then they say she assaulted the ICE agents. That feels like lawfare. Brad Lander having his hand on the immigrant while they go through the hallway saying, I'll let go when you show me the warrant, and then they slam him against the wall and arrest him and charge him with assault. That is lawfare. But when you send electors to a state to overturn an election result, that's not lawfare. That's you committing a fucking crime. You know what I mean? So, right? You see Rogan's language here? His language is like, you know, oh, when they tried to hold Donald Trump accountable for his crimes, I was really bothered by that. That's interesting.
They had charged him with 34 felonies for, which isn't even a felony. It's a misdemeanor.
And it's also campaign contribution.
Exactly. It's also past the statute of limitations. None of it made any sense. And people were cheering it on. He's a convicted felon. Like, hey, they can do that to you. Do you understand that?
Yeah,
if they can do that to a former president, a former fucking president who's rich as shit, they can do that to him. They can do that to you too. You can't cheer this on. This is insane.
Dude, nobody's ever going to charge me with 34 felony counts, guys. Right? For fudging my personal records to try and win a fucking election. I'm never going to get charged for that. Like, dude, what is he talking about, man?
This is insane. And then when they try to kill him.
And then they tried to kill him. Who's the they there? The they? So what, he thinks the Democrats tried to kill him? Is that what he's implying here? Who's the they here? They. Merrick Garland? Did Merrick Garland, like, you see what I'm talking about? Dude, you see what I'm saying? Like, dude, Thomas Crook was a Republican, man. Can I just say, to me, one of the biggest ironies about these kind of manosphere guys is like, these guys are so afraid of pronouns. They are so bent out of shape about pronouns, but goddamn, do they love the pronoun they. They is their favorite fucking pronoun. They love the pronoun they. Dude, that shit is their favorite, man.
Those things.
Twice.
I was like, yeah, but they ain't. And then when they try to kill him, all those things.
Twice.
I was like, yeah, but the big one, the Pennsylvania one, was like, holy shit. And then the fact they cremated that kid 10 days later, and then you find out he used to be in a BlackRock commercial, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
And then his apartment's professionally scrubbed. There's no silverware in it, and you don't hear a peep out of it. There's no press conference. There's no like, this is what we know about the case. This is what happened.
Mm-hmm.
This is what radicalized him. Nothing.
It seemed to just sort of go away. I mean, like all the media pointed at the Secret Service for a while, and they were like, first of all, how did he get onto? How did he get in the line of sight? He was 130 yards away with a high-powered rifle. The place is crawling with police and Secret Service, and you know, I don't even know if that sniper that got him, did he act independently? Like, did he just do his job, or was
this is kind of alarming, man, to see that Joe Rogan, he would never entertain the fact that that whole thing was a staged thing or a disgruntled Republican, but the they, right? Like the way he uses they, Rogan is obviously a deep stater. When you say they like that, oh, they tried to kill him, that's a deep stater. You know what I mean? That's an absolute deep stater tendency.
And you don't hear a peep out of it. There's no press conference. There's no like, this is what we know about the case. This is what happened. This is what radicalized him. Nothing.
It seemed to just sort of go away.
What's crazy about it though is you notice, guys, he's like, oh, it just went away. But did you notice that Joe Rogan never said, gee, I wonder why Trump didn't release the medical records, right? Why didn't Trump release his medical records? Why didn't we ever see the ear? Why didn't we ever find out about Trump's injury? What happened? His ear supposedly got blown off, but then it was magically healed like a week later. We never heard about the ear. We never saw the medical records. Donald Trump stopped talking about this, except to say that they tried to kill me, right? And you're right. The fact that he was a Republican got swept under the rug, okay? You know what I mean? Like this whole thing, but he doesn't question any of that, okay? Rogan has questioned 0% of that, but he's like, they shot him. They,
you know, I don't even know if that sniper that got him, did he act independently? Like, did he just do his job, or was he told to actually fire? Because I heard that
you mean the guy who killed the
sniper
shooter?
that killed the shooter?
Oh, I don't know.
Because I knew there was some controversy.
Well, they think there might have been a second shooter as well.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah. The whole thing's insane because...
oh, yeah, now he just drops in this casual, might have been a second shooter. Yeah, you have any evidence of that, Joe Rogan? See, you know, guys, you know where Rogan officially lost me, guys? Where Rogan officially lost me was when he did the thing with President Trump. Now, Joe Rogan never had me. I never liked him because he's this. He's bullshit, okay? He's fucking, right? He's just stir the pot, sow the chaos, be immune, $100 million paycheck, above everything, right? But the thing that got me was when he was talking to Donald Trump. He has Donald Trump on the show, and he questioned Trump about the election lies, about Trump lying about how he won 2020 election. And Trump saying he has all these papers, and Joe said, well, everything failed in court. Trump's like, no, I have documents. And Joe said, but dude, you have a Twitter following of like 100 million people. Couldn't you just put your evidence out on social media and that would like, why didn't you do that? And Trump's like, oh, whatever. He brushed it off. But like Joe did no pushback right there. Like Joe could have said to him, let me see the documents right now. Let's put your documents on the show. Let's schedule a show. You're going to get your documents and we're going to put it on the air. I want to air this, right? He could have pushed for it. He knew Trump was lying. He knew Trump didn't have shit. He knows that Trump can't keep quiet about anything. If Trump had proof of anything, it would be plastered all over the goddamn world. Okay? He is the king of lawsuits, of fuck you. It will be my last breath to prove you wrong. You know what I mean? And dude, he just was bullshit about that. He kind of pushed a little bit to where you could see that Trump was lying, but he didn't have the balls or the integrity to actually hold him accountable. And now what he's doing, though, is here he's holding, you know, they accountable, demanding they write lawfare, right? He won't hold him accountable for the crimes he commits. He won't hold him accountable for lying about the election, but he'll hold everybody that's they accountable for the way they handled the shooter, the way they stopped talking about the shooter, but he won't hold Trump accountable for hiding the injuries, right? You know what I mean? I mean, he's always protecting the establishment power side that is Trump, Dana White, right-wing established, big money, fucking, you know what I mean? Patriarchal, male-dominated culture, that's who Joe Rogan is always going to protect and defend and cover the ass of. You know?
They've managed to cover it up. I mean, it would have been Lee Harvey Oswald 2.0 if Trump had died that day.
Yeah, but now that Trump's team has got, you know, the Department of Justice, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, Department of Homeland Security, you got to think that they're...
You would hope.
I hope.
But, I mean, hey, we're only in April, right? Yeah. So he's only been in office for a few months.
There's a lot of stuff.
He's closing in on the first 100 days.
So that was kind of the shift. You're sitting back watching this.
Yeah.
And you're like, I can't let this just...
Well, it's also... There's no real conversations with him where you're just treating him like a human being. Like everything, he's being grilled and then everything's taken out of context. And I'm seeing them being taken out of context on the campaign trail. And like,
dude, that is some bullshit. Like when he's using Hitler's language, vermin, like him saying that they were changing the sex of your kids at school. Like that was not out of context, Joe Rogan. You fucking clown, bro. Now you're just pissing me off, little man. Seriously, that is complete bullshit. I watched Donald Trump no less than 50 times say they are changing the sex of your kids at school. And if Kamala Harris wins, your boys are going to go to school and come home girls. And that was not out of context. That was flat out fucking lies. Specifically designed to hurt transgender people and to other them for the sake of bringing together a coalition of negative, hateful, religious fucking zealots that wanted to demonize a segment of the population. And they crafted entirely false narratives to do it.
It was just gross.
Dude, that pisses me off.
So anti-American. Like if you're an American and you believe in our justice system and if you believe in our system of electing representatives, it should be the best people should have this opportunity to express what their plan is. This is what I want to do. This is where I stand on the issues. This is how I think I could pull it off.
The best people. If you believe in the American system of elections, should you lie about winning an election and do fake electors, Joe Rogan? The best people. So the best people, you think the major Pete Hegseth, who is a Fox News contributor, you think he's the best person to run the Department of Defense? Really, Joe Rogan? You really think that's going on? You think that the major who served less than 10 years in the military, over half of it only in the National Guard, he's a fucking major. He's never led a major group of people to battle. He never ran a big budget organization at all. Do you think that Pete Hegseth, the Fox News contributor, the drunk with rape NDAs, was the most qualified, the best person for that job? No fucking way. You think that RFK Jr. with no medical degree, who's out there firing lifelong researchers and doctors, you think he was the best person to run Health and Human Services? Like, come on, man. This is like, dude, what is he fucking talking about, right? And he's talking about, if you really love America, are you going to tell lies about Haitian immigrants eating cats and dogs? If you really love America, are you going to say you hate all the Democrats, that the Democrats are all communist, fascist, socialist, Marxists, right? If you really love America, you're going to lie about transgender people. You're going to lie about an election. You're going to call all the immigrants vermin and say they're poisoning the blood. A nation of immigrants we are? Like, dude, what the fuck, bro? Dude, I am getting livid, boss.
Mm-hmm. And then the American people are supposed to look at this person saying it and that person saying it and decide. But that's not what we were getting. We were getting one side that was radically being supported by almost all of mainstream media except Fox News.
Yeah.
and then and then the other side that is just, you know, it was just un-American to me. The whole it's just like, you're subverting democracy. You're killing the whole thing, and you're doing it with deep state money.
Dude, subverting democracy, right? Although he's full of shit with the media too, because every single rally, Trump would go on an unhinged rant for like 2 hours And then the next day, every mainstream media outlet would write like a couple of paragraphs about the great things Trump said that he never said. They like never verbatimed him. They always extracted and interpolated some meaning onto the craziness that Trump did, right? And covered for him in numerous ways. Like, oh my God, dude. Dude, that was some bullshit. See, now we know, though, that Rogan is just as phony as these guys. This is why Rogan goes to the UFC. Dude, like, look at the picture on my thumbnail, guys. It's with Anna, but there's the thumbnail from today. But look at these guys. This is after the election, right? Look at those dudes, dude. You see that shit? There's Rogan and Trump, okay? You know what I mean? Un-American? Nah, dude. Shysters, bro. You know what I'm saying? They're fucking shysters, man. Dude, they are. Look at them. They're like, yeah, man. And who are they hanging out with? They're hanging out with Andrew Tate. They're hanging out with Russell Brand. They're hanging out with Dana White. Dude, they're hanging out with men that hit women, men that rape women, men that use power and money to fucking steamroll people. And they're hanging out in that UFC crowd in their little safe zone. They don't give a shit about the trans people that Trump lies about on that stage. They don't fucking care, okay? They care about the white guys with a lot of fucking money that can hit women and rape women and get away with it. That's all they fucking care about, man. You know what I'm saying? It's all they care about, dude. And it's like never been more obvious. Never been more obvious. What is up, guys? Thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, you want to support independent resistance media, you know what to do. Drop that sub, hit the like button, and please share it. And we do love our members, so if you want to become a member, it's another really great way to support. Thanks again for everything, guys. I'll see you next time. Let's go.